Duane in Longmont, Colorado. Hey, Duane, what's on your mind?
Good morning, Tom. My question, my idea, thought is about Crosscheck. How can the public bring forward this issue to get some visibility on it? Right now, there is nothing going on. No one's saying anything about it. And then the next part to this is it really Crosscheck? We don't want to be fighting, the last war.
Right.
We want to get to the crux of the issue.
Well, if Crosscheck is still in place, it's going to be part of the next war, too. And it is still in place.
But how does this get raised to the public awareness so that people can start to be aware of this and conscious? And
if everybody watching or listening to this show right now was to contact their members of Congress and say, I'm going to call back in a couple of days and I would like to know your position on Kris Kobach's interstate crosscheck program that seems to be throwing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people of color off the voting rolls just before elections, as happened in October of 2016, and as was done much more clumsily by Jeb Bush in October of 2000 on behalf of his brother. I'd like to know your position on this. Would you please look into it? And part of the problem, though, is they'll contact Kris Kobach and he'll just say, oh, we're just trying to clean up the voter rolls. I mean, NPR did a segment with Kris Kobach talking about how wonderful Crosscheck is. It's just a way of keeping the rolls clean. You know, we're just doing hygiene here. It's like flossing your teeth. And but I think that people need to call their members of Congress and register their opinions, number one. Number two, they need to be contacting their media and saying, why the hell aren't you covering this? Richard Green and I just wrote a piece about this over the last day or two, and I submitted it this morning to Alternate. I'm assuming that they'll pick it up. I'm hoping that they'll pick it up. And, you know, saying, hey, Greg Palast revealed this back in August. You know, in August on Rolling Stone magazine, he said the election's already rigged. It's been rigged by Kris Kobach. The Republicans are going to win. And here's how. And he named the states, and he named the percentages, and he was right. And it's like, you know, the only person who's given this any publicity whatsoever in corporate media, to the best of my knowledge, was Joy-Ann Reid, who had, you know, Greg Palast on her show one morning, and he talked about it, and she was like blown away. And then it was like the word came down from NBC headquarters, we don't discuss that, or something. I don't know what happened, but it just like vanished from there, you know, and instead, hey, let's put Greta Van Susteren on. It's like, oh, man. But, Duane, I think we all need to be raising hell about it. That's the bottom line, you know, with our elected officials, with our media, and tell every friend you know about it. Get some good, clean documentation on it. The easiest thing to do is just to find that Rolling Stone article from August that Greg Palast wrote. You can find it over at gregpalast.com or at rollingstone.com. Print out a bunch of copies and hand them to every person you know and say, just read this. No, let's talk. You know, and if we can wake up and anger enough people or alarm enough people, I think it'll be a good first step. Duane, thanks for the call. Brilliant, brilliant topic.